It's Retro Podcast with your host, Retro Lion. We talk music, entertainment, films, and more. And now, here he is, live, Retro Lion. Welcome back to Retro Podcast. I am the host, Ben Cena, also known as the Retro Lion. Today we have Jon Mancinetti with us, and he's going to be telling us about his journey and how he got started. Jon, welcome to Retro Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, writer, director, filmmaker, been making movies since I was a kid. Grew up making movies with this VHS video camera with my little brothers. And, I knew ever since I was a kid, this is what I wanted to do with my life. When I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, went to college in Columbus, started studying really all of art, drawing, painting, sculpting, but focused on video and hit the ground running. Been working professionally ever since. And moved to LA 12 years ago. As of this weekend is my anniversary. So I'm excited about that. Changed my life, opened up a million opportunities for me. This is definitely home now where I want to be. I've worked on a lot of really fun projects on my own. My short films have been screened in like over 200 festivals worldwide, won, countless, I would say like maybe over 50 awards with all of those shorts. And most recently wrote and directed my first feature film, which is called Reel Hard, R-E-E-L, Reel Hard, like film reel. And really fun project. It's like an homage to 90s comedies. And it is now streaming on Tubi and Amazon. So I'm really proud of that. And other than that, man, just enjoying life with my dogs.
Nice. And how many dogs do you have?
So this is my dog, Smokey, right here. Hey, Smokey.
Hey, Smokey.
Say hi, boy. Smokey. Smokey. Say hi. And then Macy, come here. This is Macy.
Hi,
She's
Macy.
actually one of my foster dogs. Macy, come here. Come here. And then I have another foster dog, Millie. Where's Millie? Come here, Millie. And they're all super friendly, get along great. Come here, Millie. Come here, come say hi. Millie. These two are buddies right here. Say hi, Millie.
Hi.
So yeah, we're living the dream. It's a dog paradise over here. Millie, come on here. There she is. Say hi to everyone. She is looking to get adopted. If anybody in LA sees this, she's looking for her forever home, huh? And she's a sweetheart. So is Macy. So yeah, okay, all right. But yeah, man, just living the dream out here, Things are
Nice.
going good, and just promoting the film and getting it out there, getting a great response on it so far, and really happy it's my first project that's got distribution. So like I said, it's available on all streaming platforms right now, and it's a huge accomplishment for me.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm currently working on my first feature as well and trying to get some sponsors for it.
Yeah, I've been down that road before. Yeah, it's the fundraising process to me is not fun at all.
No.
It's like I want to just make the damn movie. I don't want to be promoting it and reaching out and emailing, and I've done it a few times now, and I think you're kind of burnt out by the time it's over, and then it's time to make the movie. So good luck.
Oh, yes. For me, for this project, it took 5 years because it was a combination of, yes, there's a little bit of sponsor and investment, but most of it was personal projects, like projects I did throughout my college years and a little bit of projects I did when I was in high school. For every
Cool.
project, for every dollar, every check I earned, I just wanted to do something big. So I put that down the road. And my advice to everyone, like if there's a project you are really passionate about, doesn't matter what it is, like make sure you create a savings account and then fast forward to five or 10 years later, do your cards right, get your project made. Although I won't go into full detail, but sorry, I'm trying hard not to swear because
Oh, are we not allowed to swear?
I mean we could swear, but it's just gonna get bleeped out.
Beeped out. Well, it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. And for I try hard not to laugh because when me and my friend talk about this, we refer to it as something else. But that big beautiful bill that passed, I'm very pissed about. Which
Yeah.
what me and my friend call it, we call it the big dumb bill.
Appropriate.
When that passed, it's caused some struggles with my business, and as a small business owner, yeah, it's made me very pissy.
Yeah, same. I know. Goes downhill and the little man gets pissed on, as they like to say. So yeah, pretty not excited about it either. But you know what? I'm staying in my lane. I'm trying to stay
Same
positive,
here.
and I think that's the thing as an independent filmmaker, and you kind of just touched on it. If you have an idea, if you have a passion, if you have something that you know that you want to share with the world, you've got to do everything within your ways and means to get that out there. And I think I'm walking proof of that.
Same here.
Good.
Although in my next I showed that a series of shorts I did when I was in high school and college. It's called Lakeside, and it's based on Lakeside, Chautauqua. It's in my hometown in Ohio.
Oh, what part of
Uh,
Ohio?
I'm from the Columbus area, but
Cool.
so there's been times back and forth where I'd live in Columbus. There'd be times I'd live in Lakeside Marblehead. Lakeside Marblehead's my true home, but I go back and forth every once in a while. But Lakeside Marblehead, there was a series of shorts I did based on that town, and now the show's going to get a reboot. Well, hopefully it gets a reboot.
Oh, okay. I love that. And that's one thing that I did growing up in Cleveland was, it's a big little city and you can really rise the ranks there. And I actually I kind of like my first feature film. It was very guerrilla though in Cleveland. It was called Never Escape. And it was just me with a camera and a bunch of actors and going all over free locations. Nobody got paid. We were shooting in demolished buildings and empty warehouses and stuff. And, it really put me on the map. We premiered at Cedar Lee Theater, and like almost 400 people came to the premiere. I was in the news and the newspaper. And from there, I kind of just springboarded into doing a lot more. And I kind of grew in the community as a local filmmaker. Started working with the Cleveland Cavaliers, doing videos for them, for the NBA team. I was filming like all the big DJs that would come to town at West 6. I would do that every weekend. And it was cool, but I think that's the thing is I got to a point when I was 29, that's when I moved to LA because you utilize your big little city, right? And you showcase your abilities. And then for me, I got to the point where I was ready to kind of take it to a bigger market, and now that's why I'm in LA.
Yeah, but funny enough, Lakeside Marblehead is actually an app. It's about 30 minutes from Cleveland.
Oh yeah, what is it like? Okay, so I'm guessing it's northeast.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. So like by Mentor, like that area?
Yeah,
All right,
it's
cool.
where because I mean Cleveland's next to Lake Erie, so it's in that Lake Erie area. Because like in Lake Erie, you also have Put Bay, you also have Port Clinton, and
I
then
love Put
so
Bay. I haven't been since I was like in high school, but a lot of crazy memories there.
and then there's because I went to Put Bay for the first time last year. I'm really hoping to go again this year.
Is it still like a big party area?
Yeah, it's funny because I guess you could say it's a combination of both U.S. and Canada because it's smack down in the middle. So like part of it's
Yeah.
U.S., part of it's Canada, and they actually both have the U.S. flag and the Canadian flag on the island.
Yeah, I gotta go back. I've been dying to go back. I remember last time I went was with a group of buddies and it was a blast. We all slept in the same hotel room. I don't even know if we slept. We were up, all night partying, talking to girls, doing all that. I was like probably 21, 22 years old. But good times. I mean, I have so many fun memories growing up in Ohio and Cleveland, and all my family's still there. Just went back recently to visit. And of course it was snowing, so I got my little taste of it, and then I got to leave, which is like just the right amount for me.
Awesome. When Edward Glenn, who was the voice of Thomas and Thomas and the Magic Railroad, was on the podcast,
Cool.
I was telling him that because he lives in Toronto.
All right.
And it's funny because Canada has their own version of Lakeside as well. I can't remember what it's called, but it's their own version of Lakeside, which is on the Lake Erie part of Ontario, which you could actually see it from Put in Bay. If you go up to the Perry's Monument on Put in Bay Island, you could see Ontario just right over there.
Oh,
You could
cool.
even take a boat to Ontario as well. But Toronto is farther out,
Yeah.
and Edward was like, "Well, what were you doing Put Bay?" I was like, "Oh, I was just hanging out with some friends," and I was telling him that I had my first alcoholic beverage for the first time in my life. Never had an alcoholic beverage before. And I remember my friend, he gets a Shamrock Shake at this Irish pub, and so I was like, "Oh, I'll have one of those as well." And I'm thinking, "Oh, it must be like the McDonald's Shamrock Shake or something even cooler." I drink. This is very strong. What's it? He's like, "Oh yeah, there's Mentos, there's peppermint, there's Girl Scout cookies. Oh yeah, there's liquor in that." And I'm like.
He
Next
got
thing you
me.
know, you're topless, dancing on top of a table,
Like
swimming
that's it,
like Erie.
it didn't have any effects on me. There was no effects on me, thank goodness. But you just made me think of that scene from Paul Blart Mall Cop where he's having the spicy nacho race and he can't handle the jalapenos and so he's drinking lemonade. He's like, this lemonade tastes weird. He's like, oh yeah, that's a margarita. He's like, oh, I don't drink. And then he's like
All
drunk.
downhill from there. Yep. Oh yeah. I mean, and that's one thing, growing up in Ohio, it's like there's really not always much to do certain times of the year, and so no wonder people take to the alcoholic beverages here and
Yeah.
there.
Hey, half the time it's just me making a dumbass out of myself. But hey, gotta learn to accept it.
And there's a place for that.
It's like, so these projects that you've been working on, is there anything new that you're working on at the moment?
Yeah, with my first feature being done, I'm ready to definitely tackle more and continue doing features. I don't know, I mean, maybe I'd still do some short films, but to be honest with you, now that I got the distribution going and everything, I mean, I'm ready to make money off of these projects. So I'd like to do another feature. I'd like to do as many features as I can from now until I croak. So I think continuing to do more features independently, growing the budgets as I, do more is the goal. But with Real Hard, it was a stressful project. I mean, I tried to make it look like $1 million film, even though it was an independent project. And hopefully when people watch it, streaming on Tubi and Amazon Prime and Google Play and anywhere else that you watch movies, you can't totally tell. Like, obviously, there's no name actors in it, so you can tell it's an indie film, but it's done really well. We shot on the Alexa. We had super speed, like really high-end lenses. So it looks great. The talent is phenomenal. All the actors did such a good job. So incredibly proud of the project. That being said, I wore way too many hats as the producer, writer, director, editor. I was dabbling in almost every department. I didn't have as many people helping me as I'd like. I didn't have enough money. We were pressed for time all the time. We didn't have enough money to rent these places as many times as I'd like. We shot in my house a bunch of times. So I was like, I almost had a million nervous breakdowns during the process of creating this film, which was all worth it, I guess, in the end, because like I said, it's my first big feature streaming, and I love it. I love that it showcases my writing, my comedy writing, and my directing abilities. I think that's the best part about it for me, and that's what I wanted. I want a project to be a calling card. So now that I have that, I want to keep following. Real Hard is sort of like an homage to '90s comedies. So I want to keep doing comedy, but I want to start moving more into sci-fi. I love sci-fi. I've always been a huge fan. And so I've been working on a sort of comedy sci-fi concept next that may actually lean into the low budget aesthetic. I mentioned the VHS video camera here, which I have tattooed. I've been coming up with an idea that it would actually be shot entirely on this camera. It's
Ace.
kind of a concept of a group of characters trapped inside a VHS tape.
Oh, oh,
So
oh, oh.
using AI in the future, we've scanned our memories and created a simulated reality which we can go back and relive. And these two characters end up stuck inside this guy's memory. So it's a really fun, different type of project. I'm thinking I would end up just shooting the whole thing with this camera. I've even started going around LA testing it. It's funny because people think when you show up with it, it's like a bigger camera. So they think, oh, what's this guy shooting with? And I'm like, this camera is from the '90s. Like, it's shitty quality. Don't worry. I'm not doing anything with it. And so I think that's kind of the fun of it. I've studied films, obviously, like Blair Witch. And then I don't know if you've ever seen Escape from Tomorrow. It's a movie that they shot entirely in Disney World and Disneyland. So like,
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
yeah, like these ideas where it's almost like found footage, right? Except I don't want to do that. I don't want to do a horror movie either. I want to lean more into sci-fi comedy. And so something that had that found footage aesthetic, that kind of lo-fi world, but with a hi-fi concept. That's what I've been working on. I actually just finished the second draft of the script. It still needs a lot of work, but I like what I'm coming up with so far. I think at the end of the day, what I'm going to do is make a movie just like I used to do as a kid, right, with my little brothers, except replace my brothers with really good actors that I know here in LA. And we're just going to run around and shoot these scenes, leave it open for improv, and then have fun editing it. Get back to having fun again. I think there was so much pressure with Real Hard, and we're trying to keep that high budget aesthetic that it drove me insane. And so, like, removing some of that pressure, still keeping it high end sound, high end acting, but like with that lo-fi visual, I think it could be really fun. So who knows what's going to come of that? So far, it's titled Core Memory.
Good title.
Thanks. I like it. I think it works.
Yeah, my film that I'm working on is titled Van Dragon Sing, and it actually has the actor who voiced Scooby-Doo in the James Gunn films.
Gorsh! That's awesome.
Neil Fanning is the name of the guy, and he plays Van Dragonsing in my film. It's Scream meets Scooby-Doo meets Five Nights at Freddy's, but it's set in in an alternate reality where it's modern day, but it's if 1980s technology and nostalgic never died off. So like think smartphones, but smartphones look like Game Boys or
Yeah, I like that.
computers. Like we still have a Mac computer, but they're just the 1980s version.
Yeah.
Netflix is a 1980s, VHS tapes that they just bring. And then
Cool. So let me ask you, how do you survive in a place like Ohio where everyone's a Republican,
well,
hating Trump?
well, the reason why I'm still in Ohio is because I have 90-year-old grandparents who need to be taken care of.
Oh,
So
that's nice.
I just want to spend my last minute. I'll move out of Ohio at some point down the road, hopefully. But my time right now is I just want to spend the last minute with my grandparents because you don't know what could happen.
Oh, yeah, that's really good, man. I just lost my grandpa too. That's why I went back home recently. And it's not easy, man, especially like for me moving to the other side of the country, you miss out on so many family moments. And I'm there on FaceTime, which is cool, but that's awesome, man, And I think like I have so many friends I grew up in, they'll never leave Ohio, So it's like, I think there is a lot to offer, especially for creative minded people. I think it's just a little bit more of a struggle, when you're kind of doing creative things. And so you have to find your own lane. I think we were kind of talking about that earlier, and it seems like you're already there. So that's half the battle.
But yeah, I literally want to get out of Ohio so bad. Mainly because I hate Ohio. It's the Republican Party who I can't stand. But every time I talk with either one of my Canadian friends or one of my Los Angeles friends, I'm like, no, get me out! You gotta help us, please. But especially when I'm talking with my Canadian friends, I'm like, you gotta help us, please. Please bring me over.
And they're like, we don't want you here. Now that Trump is taking over, like, I feel like I've met a lot of Canadians here, that have come from there, and yeah, the rhetoric of Canadians, what they think about Trump and America right now isn't on the positive side.
One of the so one of the actresses in the film Van Dragonsing, who is played by Skylar Lynn, who is terrific by the way, she's a very talented scream queen. And but before she was casted as the character Michelle, there were three ideas that were in mind before she got casted. And that was Sophia Wiley, who was in the Netflix movie School for Good and Evil. It like she was in mind. Devin Nakota, who played Annika in Scream 6, she was in mind, and she happens to be Canadian, by the way. So I don't blame her why she will be in this film. And then Maya Hawke, who was actually one of my very first two celebrity connections that I made when I was in college, was in mine, but she couldn't do it because she's going on tour at the moment. And so we put out an audition, and then Skylar Lynn applied for the part, and then
Cool.
and then she got it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked with a lot of really cool actors too when I was in Ohio. And you know what? I think that's one thing I miss about Ohio too is here in LA, everybody's just trying to get paid. Everybody's chasing the dream, clout chasing and follow me and all that. And I've managed to connect with a lot of really genuine actors, don't get me wrong. But Cleveland, man, and Ohio, that's one thing I miss is you can just pull up anywhere and basically film there for free, or you will tell
Yeah.
someone, hey, I want to film, and they'll let you film there for free. So you got to use those strengths. You have to work towards, those advantages. And that's one thing like I'm describing with my next project is like, okay, if I had a lot of stress trying to raise money and pay for everything and organize and crew and gear, I'm gonna remove all that. We'll just do something with a can, and let's just because that's the other thing too is like the distribution company, Indie Rights is the one who's distributing my film, and they share all types of films. I mean, I have seen things that were shot on iPhones get distributed now, and so I'm restructuring it in my mind. I always want to make a legit feature film that showed my abilities. So now I've done that, and I will do that again, you know? But for right now, when I'm trying to get my money back together, well, like you were saying, sit around, raise money, wait, or just do something, you know? And that's kind of where I'm is like, if I can come up with a concept that works to the low budget aesthetic, you know, there's always a possibility. And I think that's one thing for up and coming filmmakers is, you know, if you sit around and wait too much, it'll never get made. And I'm one of those people who like, screw it, I'm gonna do this. You know what I mean? I'm gonna
Boy,
do it by any means necessary.
that's the boat I'm in, man.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, I've done stuff with toys before. I've done, you know, claymation. It's like, yeah, and it still counts. It still counts, you know. I think as long as the story is good, that's my biggest thing. I've sat through so many independent film festivals where you're like, how did this get into a film festival? This is terrible. The person has no idea how to write a script. The acting is horrendous. And those are two big things. If you can solve those, if you can have a good story with good acting or voice acting, if it's animation, you know, people are going to take notice.
Oh yeah. Hey, if it doesn't matter what you're filming on, as long as it sounds good, story's good, everything else, you got yourself a story right there.
I mean, I just went to go see the new 28 Years Later. It
That
was
was
with
shot on iPhone.
Now, I absolutely hated it. It was so bad. Like I was laughing in the theater because there's so many zombie and there's a pregnant zombie that like was a zombie, got pregnant, gave birth. It was laughably bad, and it made the other two films look
Just like
horrendous.
Dawn of the Dead.
Oh my God. But I was like, okay, you know, you can shoot something on an iPhone that even is high budget. That granted, I don't know if you've seen any of their setups. They had this rig with like 100 iPhones on it, and they could move back and forth. Cool idea. I honestly felt like it looked a little bit too much like a Lifetime film for me. I didn't really like the way they colored it and the way that it looked, but you know, I think if you lean into it, right, that's the thing. And I know people that have done stuff on iPhones that got into major festivals. So it's all it's the
I took a
concept.
I took a pass on 28 Years Later. I like the first one. I watched
I
the
like
first
the first
movie.
one. I like the second one. Both of them have such cool intro scenes. Like the intro scenes of both, the first 10 minutes of both films are like, they grab you, you know? And this one was terrible. This one was so bad. It started right away with kids in a room, and then zombies come in and kill them. And then this guy runs in, and the pastor's like, ah, and you're just like, what did I just watch? That was not even well crafted, nothing clever there, nothing came back around. And it was that. It was constant like setup, bad execution. I didn't care for the characters. You know, you got to create characters where when they arc, it makes sense. And there was a lot of characters just changing, and you're like, why are they doing this? You know, but like I said, I was cracking up. Actually, I have a funny story. So I got to the theater, right, to watch this film, and it was playing, it had just opened. So it was playing on all the screens, like up top. And there was a couple, a young couple who must have gotten out of another movie. And you know, when you like, you want to keep seeing a movie, you sneak into another theater. So I
Been
could
there,
tell
done
they
that.
did that. They snuck into go see 28 years later, but it was like already going on. So I go into the bathroom, right? And I come out of the bathroom and they storm out of the theater cracking up. And the guy is just like, why did you make me do that? Oh my God. And the girl is like bent over laughing. And the guy's like, that's why you don't walk into movies halfway through. That's why you don't walk into movies halfway through. And she goes, I've never seen a zombie give birth to a baby before. And so I heard that and I'm like, so there's a zombie birth scene. Okay, great. So at least I expected it when it came. But when it came, I was like, okay. And then it made it even funnier knowing that this poor couple stumbled in at this moment where the lady's fisting a zombie, ripping a child out. Like, I was just like, who greenlit this project, man? And the
I
worst
can't
part,
watch that.
they're gonna make more. There was no ending, even. You get to the end and they leave it open-ended and they show you they're gonna do like a part 2 or 3 or something. And I'm just like even if you're going to do a part 2 or 3, it should still be a good standalone film as far as I'm concerned. It should still have an ending, right? The ending isn't, oh, come see the next one. That's not an ending, you know? So yeah, in my opinion, don't go see 28 years later. It is terrible. Unless you have a thing for naked zombie dick movies.
Yeah, that's just too.
Your face, I think, sums it sums it up right there. You're like, yeah,
I would
feeling
love to do a
blood.
I would love to do a zombie movie with Matthew Finland down the road because I think that what they're I had an idea a while back. It's not official yet, but if you think Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, where it was zombies in Vegas, but it wasn't the entire United States that got infected. It was only Vegas that was infected, and so they built a wall around Vegas to keep the zombies inside, so nowhere else in the world gets gets infected. Where I think what there needs to be is that, well, it turns out in 28 days later, well, so far no, that it's just England and then Paris, France that get infected. Those are the only areas that get infected. I mean, it was said that New York might have gotten infected, like the United States may have gotten infected at some point, but I don't know if that was true or false or not with the 28 days universe. But I
Yeah,
had
they
this
kind of talk
idea.
about it in the new one, but it's like, who cares? I don't know. It wasn't handled well.
But what I think would be cool is that, like, have a zombie movie that takes place in England. Why not there be a zombie movie that takes place in Canada where you could have two guys from the US and they have to travel to Canada to go into this town, and the town has been infected by zombies, and so they built a wall around the town to keep the zombies in, but then a bunch of goofy chaos happens.
Yeah, and it could be your town. That would be perfect, you know? Like,
Well, because there is a lakeside in Ontario, Canada, except it's not called Lakeside, it's called something else. And then the title of that movie could be Zombicide, and that would be the R-rated version of Lakeside. I mean, hey, let's face it, Deadpool Wolverine was the first R-rated movie of the MCU. Why not have the first R-rated short film or R-rated film of the Lakeside universe?
there you go. Or, zombies come to Put-in-Bay. Now that would be
That'd
that
be
would
a good one.
I
Could have zombies on Put-in-Bay, and Put-in-Bay is bordered off the rest of the
I
area.
love it. I love and that's the cool thing is I'm sure if you went there and you're like, hey, I've got this idea, you could have half naked zombies running around and nothing would happen,
I don't
like
think we'd have naked zombies. It'd be more like Zombie King,
half
and
naked.
you could
Yeah,
have
they're
Zombie
the
King
kings.
and leader of the zombies, and he could be
Yeah.
played by Vincent D'Onofrio if he ever got interested.
Oh, all right, all
Because,
right.
dude, when he played Kingman in the MCU, oh man, that was terrific. So imagine
My,
if Kingpin was a zombie.
one of my favorite roles of him, which is a villain role, is ever seen The Cell?
I haven't seen that.
Oh, dude, watch that movie tonight. It is so good. J Lo is in it, looking sexy as always. So she goes into a psycho killer's mind, who's in a coma. And what's cool is you see it's a very twisted reality, kind of like I was actually studying it with the script I'm working on now, but it's twisted. The whole thing seems like a Marilyn Manson video, and he plays both sides. He plays like the normal guy who is the serial killer in real life, but then you see his dark side, and he's this extravagant monster in his mind. And it is one of his hands down best roles. I was actually reading online, and his wife said after she saw the movie, she was so spooked out she wouldn't let him sleep in his bed for a month. So it's great. You got to check that one out.
Awesome. Another great Vincent D'Onofrio part would be Men in Black 1. Like, just think
Oh
that
yeah.
character, but as a zombie instead of an alien wearing skin. Just think that as a zombie, and he's like
Yeah,
the
the way
zombie
he's
king.
great. He's great in everything he
Yeah.
does. And I love him as Kingpin. And I hope they utilize him more with like Spider-Man and like, because I'm a huge comic book fan as well. And so, yeah, you've got Daredevil, you've got Kingpin, you've already got these great characters. So let's bring them into the features now and not just as
Yes.
like cameos, let's see them as legitimate threats, like he could be in the Avengers movies. Like I want to see
Yeah.
him more a part of the universe for sure.
Hey, with both of our films, our goal is to get more people interested. It doesn't matter whether they're famous or not famous. We just gotta get them interested in our projects.
I do think they could make him bigger though. Kingpin. I
That is
grew up on the
true.
old Spider-Man cartoon, remember from the 90s, and that's my Kingpin. You know what I mean? I want to see a big like mammoth guy like ruling New York City, smashing Spider-Man like a bug. But we're in there. He's great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you for the interview. Thank you
any
for
other
attending Retro
yeah.
Podcast.
Any last questions?
Well, we do have 2 minutes left. Is there any advice that you would pass on to future filmmakers?
Sure. Don't give up. Number one, don't let depression and money and life ruin your creative dreams, because I'm someone who deals with all the above, and I've still tried to prevail. I hope I've prevailed. My dogs have helped me through it. The palm trees and sun and ocean here has helped me as well. But you know what? I think if, like I said earlier, if you have an idea, you've got to do whatever it takes to get it out there and just do it. I think I get a lot of people messaging me on Instagram, like, what's your advice? How do I get started? You get started just by doing something. Everybody has a camera on their phone, or a camera that they can use. Shoot something with your friends, shoot something with your family. And look at that. There you go. And learn how to edit, do it yourself, because I know a lot of people too that are like, I just want to do this. I just want to write, or I just want to direct. Well, guess what? If that's your attitude as an independent filmmaker, you're not going to do much. I have had to do everything on my sets, on my productions. I didn't really want to edit my feature that I just did, but I did. And I'm glad I did, because I think, I've been editing for years. I think it came out better. As the person who wrote it, it was like the best final step for me to really make my jokes land, and give it that timing and those reactions. So you got to practice everything. You got to dabble in everything. You got to have an understanding of everything. And then once you do that, you'll become better at that thing you want to focus on, which in my case is writing and directing. I feel like I'm a better director because I have knowledge of every department. I know how to do production design. I know about wardrobe. I even know a little bit about makeup and special effects. And so I'm able to communicate better with those people now that my teams have grown. Do it, have fun. Remember, it should be fun. And never give up.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. And check out my film Real Hard, please, on Tubi for free, or Amazon Prime, Google Play, any other streaming platform. And hope you enjoy it. Smokey says peace. He's knocked out right now.
Thank you, John, and thank you to your dogs.
Yeah, man. Thank you. It's been a blast. It was great talking to you.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Spotify and follow us on Instagram. See you next week.